Catastrophic Texas floods, rescue efforts, missing campers, and community response. Texas Flood Crisis 2025. Live updates on deadly flash floods and missing campers. Tragedy at Camp Mystic. Deadly flood claims lives of girls and staff in Texas. Miracle rescue. 2 girls cling to tree 30 feet up in Texas floods. Catastrophic Texas floods, rescue efforts, missing campers, and community response. The recent catastrophic floods in Texas have resulted in a heartbreaking loss of life, with at least 80 individuals confirmed dead, as officials warn of the potential for more rain in the coming days. A tragic toll. The devastating flash floods that swept through central Texas early Friday have claimed the lives of at least 80 people, including a tragic count of 28 children from Kirk County. Among the missing are 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic, a summer camp that has become a focal point of the search efforts. Ongoing flood threat. Governor Greg Abbott has issued warnings that flash flooding remains a significant threat in various parts of the state, with additional rainfall expected. Residents in the community of Hunt, located in Kirk County, are being urged to seek higher ground to avoid the risk of further flooding. Search and rescue efforts. Despite the grim outlook, search and rescue operations are ongoing. Authorities have expressed concern that the chances of finding survivors diminish as time passes. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick shared his hope for miracles during a recent interview, emphasizing the community's resilience. Federal assistance mobilized. In response to the disaster, FEMA has been activated following a major disaster declaration signed by President Donald Trump. This federal support aims to assist local authorities in their recovery efforts. A call for action. For those wishing to help the victims of the floods in Central Texas, resources are available through CNN's Impact Your World initiative. A missed opportunity for safety. Records indicate that Kirk County officials had previously considered implementing an early warning system with emergency sirens to alert residents about potential floods. However, this initiative never materialized before the recent tragedy. In a 2016 meeting, a county commissioner highlighted the need for an improved flood warning system, noting that Kirk County was among the highest risk areas for flooding in the state. Community response. In the wake of the floods, local residents have initiated a petition advocating for the establishment of a flood warning system. While emergency sirens were activated in other areas during the recent floods, it remains unclear how effective such measures would have been in Kirk County. Continued risk of flash flooding. As of Sunday evening, the risk of flash flooding has escalated in regions previously affected by Friday's storms. Scattered thunderstorms are expected to bring several inches of rain, potentially exacerbating the already dire situation. The human cost. The confirmed death toll now stands at 80. With 68 fatalities in Kirk County alone, including 40 adults and 28 children. The breakdown of deaths across various counties includes 68 in Kirk County, 5 in Travis County, 3 in Burnett County, 2 in Kendall County, 1 in Tom Green County, 1 in Williamson County. The search for missing campers. Sheriff Larry Letha has reported that 10 campers and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic remain unaccounted for. Search and rescue teams are tirelessly working to locate these individuals, utilizing advanced technology such as drones to aid in their efforts. Community solidarity. In Hunt, Texas, emergency officials are urging residents to evacuate to higher ground as the threat of flooding looms. The community is coming together, with volunteers and local organizations providing food and support to first responders and those affected by the floods. A call for caution. As search and rescue operations continue, officials are urging the public to refrain from spreading unverified information about missing persons, as this can hinder official efforts. Governor Abbott has confirmed that 41 individuals are currently reported missing across the state. Reflections from leaders. Former President George W. Bush expressed his sorrow over the loss of life, emphasizing the profound grief experienced by families who have lost children. Similarly, former President Barack Obama extended his prayers to those awaiting news of their loved ones. The ongoing search. Despite the challenges, volunteers remain hopeful in their search for survivors. The community's determination is evident as they comb through debris and difficult terrain, driven by compassion for those affected. A community in mourning. As the search continues, the emotional toll on the community is palpable. Many volunteers are personally connected to those missing, and the loss of community members is felt deeply. The efforts to find survivors are not just about rescue. They are about providing closure to families in anguish. Conclusion. The situation in Texas is dire, and as the community rallies together, the need for effective flood warning systems and emergency preparedness has never been clearer. What are your thoughts on how communities can better prepare for such disasters in the future? Share your opinions in the comments below. Texas Flood Crisis 2025. Live updates on deadly flash floods and missing campers. In a devastating turn of events, at least 70 lives have been tragically lost in central Texas due to catastrophic flash floods, including the heartbreaking deaths of 21 children. As rescue efforts continue, the fate of 11 campers and one counselor from Camp Mystic remains unknown, adding to the community's anguish. Over 850 people have been rescued so far in Kirk County, which bore the brunt of the flooding, according to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The search for the missing campers has intensified, with President Donald Trump declaring a major disaster for Kirk County and Governor Abbott calling Sunday a day of prayer. Despite early warnings from the National Weather Service, NWS, the severity of the rainfall caught many off guard. The NWS has faced criticism over its preparedness, especially in light of recent budget cuts that have led to staff reductions. The floods have prompted questions about the adequacy of evacuation measures for summer camps in the area. Local officials have expressed regret over the lack of earlier evacuations, but emphasized the ongoing rescue efforts. The risk of further flooding remains, with additional rain forecast for the region. The impact of federal budget cuts on the NWS has raised concerns about its ability to provide timely and accurate weather forecasts. The agency has seen significant staff reductions, which could affect its operational efficiency. In response to the crisis, federal and state officials have vowed to support the affected communities. However, the Trump administration's previous stance on reducing federal aid for disaster management has sparked debate about the role of federal versus state responsibility in such situations. As the search for the missing continues and the region grapples with the aftermath of the floods, the resilience and solidarity of the Texas community are being tested. The coming days will be crucial in determining the full extent of the damage and the recovery efforts needed. Tragedy at Camp Mystic. Deadly flood claims lives of girls and staff in Texas. Tragedy at Camp Mystic, when a summer haven became a scene of heartbreak. Imagine sending your child to a summer camp filled with laughter, faith, and adventure, only to have it end in unimaginable loss. This is the devastating reality that unfolded at Camp Mystic, a beloved Christian girls' camp nestled along the serene Guadalupe River in Texas. What was meant to be a season of joy turned into one of the state's deadliest flood disasters, leaving families shattered and communities searching for answers. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this tragedy have been prevented, or is it simply the price of embracing nature's beauty? Just days before the disaster, Camp Mystic buzzed with the energy of young girls enjoying a summer escape. Among them was 8-year-old Renee Smajstrela, whose radiant smile in a photograph captured the pure joy of camp life, making friends, exploring nature, and creating memories. Tragically, that joy was short-lived. The very next day, floodwaters transformed this haven into a place of chaos and sorrow, claiming Renee's life along with many others. Her uncle, Sean Salta, shared a poignant tribute on social media, writing, "She will forever be living her best life at Camp Mystic," a heartbreaking reminder of the innocence lost. The scale of the disaster is staggering. At least 59 people perished, including the camp's longtime director, Richard Dick Eastland, and numerous young campers. 11 girls and 1 counselor remain unaccounted for, with many believed to have been in cabins perilously close to the river, just 500 feet away. The aftermath paints a haunting picture: mud-soaked bunk beds overturned, personal treasures scattered amidst the wreckage, and the once vibrant spaces where girls gathered for Bible study and campfire songs now reduced to scenes of destruction. Stella Thompson, a 13-year-old camper, witnessed the horror unfold from a cabin on higher ground. Awakened by storms in the early hours of Friday, she and her cabin mates soon learned of the flooding that had engulfed the riverside section of the camp. "We were all in hysterics, praying nonstop," Stella recounted in an interview with a Dallas NBC affiliate. "The fear wasn't for ourselves, it was for the girls on the other side." As military trucks evacuated survivors, Stella saw sights she'll never forget: kayaks tangled in treetops, first responders wading through water to rescue girls, and massive trees uprooted, their roots exposed like silent witnesses to the chaos. "It didn't even look like Camp Mystic anymore," she said, her words a stark reflection of the camp's transformation from paradise to nightmare. When the BBC arrived at the camp on Sunday, the scene was grim. Rain continued to fall, complicating rescue efforts, while police cordoned off the entrance. The remnants of what might have been a gatehouse lay in ruins, a symbol of the camp's shattered normalcy. With more rain forecast, the mission has shifted from rescue to recovery, as hope of finding survivors dwindles with each passing day. Camp Mystic, run by the same family for generations, has long been a cherished destination for girls across Texas and beyond, including children of the political elite. Its website describes a place where girls can grow spiritually in a wholesome Christian environment, enjoying activities like swimming, canoeing, horseback riding, and building lifelong friendships. The Guadalupe River, with its scenic beauty, is a major draw for the region, home to nearly 20 youth camps. But this beauty comes with a hidden danger, a danger that proved fatal when floodwaters surged through the area with little warning, devastating the picturesque riverfront. And this is the part most people miss: Camp Mystic wasn't the only camp affected. Nearby, Heart o' the Hills, another all-girls camp, also faced flooding. Tragically, its co-owner and director, Jane Ragsdale, lost her life, though fortunately, the camp was not in session at the time. In a statement, the camp mourned the loss of a woman who influenced countless lives and embodied strength and power, while confirming that most people on the premises had been accounted for and moved to safety. The broader impact of the disaster remains unclear, with an unknown number of other campers in the area for the holiday weekend. But here's where it gets controversial. Questions are swirling about the decision to place so many camps so close to the river's edge. Why weren't more robust evacuation plans in place, especially given the region's history of flooding? Congressman Chip Roy, who represents the area, acknowledged the devastation but cautioned against rushing to judgment. "People will say, we need to move these camps. Why build them so close to the water?" Roy remarked. But the answer is simple. Camps are near rivers because that's where the beauty and wonder lie. Is this a fair defense, or does it sidestep accountability? Should the allure of nature justify the risks, especially when children's lives are at stake? Meanwhile, families of the missing endure an excruciating weight, clinging to hope as search and rescue teams work tirelessly, some using boats to navigate the flooded terrain, others sifting through debris. Kirk County Sheriff Larry Letha vowed to continue the search, stating, We won't stop until families are reunited. City Manager Dalton Rice echoed this commitment, emphasizing the community's resolve. Governor Greg Abbott has declared a state of emergency, warning that the death toll may rise as the full scope of the tragedy comes into focus. Amid the grief, Stella finds comfort in a poem she learned at Camp Mystic, a lesson in love and resilience that now carries a deeper meaning. A bell is not a bell until you ring it. A song is not a song until you sing it. The love in your heart was not put there to stay. Love is not love until you give it away. This tragedy raises profound questions that demand our attention. Was this disaster an unavoidable act of nature, or a failure of planning and foresight? Should camps like Mystic be relocated to safer ground, even if it means sacrificing their scenic charm? And what responsibility do camp operators, local officials, and even parents bear in ensuring the safety of young campers? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Congressman Roy's perspective, or do you believe more should have been done to protect these children? Your voice matters in this critical conversation. Miracle rescue. 2 girls cling to tree 30 feet up in Texas floods. Against all odds, 2 young girls survived a nightmare scenario, clinging to a tree 30 feet in the air for 3 days after catastrophic floods ravaged Texas, claiming at least 69 lives. But here's the twist. Their rescue wasn't just a stroke of luck. It was a testament to human resilience and the relentless efforts of first responders. The girls were discovered in Comfort, Texas, a small town in Kendall County, over 15 miles from Kerrville, the epicenter of the disaster where 59 people perished in the Guadalupe River flood. Shockingly, 4 more bodies were recovered near the same tree where the girls were found, according to Kerr County lead. While Kendall County reported only 2 other fatalities, the tragedy is far from over. Authorities are still searching for 11 missing girls from Camp Mystic, along with 1 counselor, and 41 others remain unaccounted for. The disaster unfolded on Friday, when an unexpected deluge caused the Guadalupe River to surge several inches in just hours, swallowing entire cabins filled with 4th of July vacationers and campers. In the first 36 hours alone, over 850 people were rescued, but the death toll continues to climb, with 21 of the victims in Kerr County being children, 5 of whom were Camp Mystic attendees. Here's the chilling detail most people overlook. Many riverside camps had no warning. At Camp La Junta, an all-boys camp, brothers described waking up to their cabin flooding. "I heard screams outside," recalled camper Braden Davis. "Later, I learned a cabin had been swept away. Water tore doors off hinges, forcing campers to swim to safety. Miraculously, everyone at Camp La Junta survived. But the youngest Camp Mystic girls weren't as fortunate. Their cabins were less than a football field away from the river. The entire campground is gone," said Eleanor Lester, a rescued camper. Now, with more storms threatening Texas Hill Country, evacuations are underway. This raises a controversial question. Should campsites so close to rivers be allowed without stricter safety protocols? Some argue these tragedies are preventable, while others believe nature's unpredictability makes regulation futile. What do you think? Should there be tighter restrictions, or is this just an unavoidable risk of outdoor adventures? Share your thoughts below. Catastrophic Texas flood.